Many of my clients inside my mastermind program often discover as soon as we get started that the reason why they're feeling stuck in their freelance business is because of the rates that they're charging. More often than not, they are undercharging for the quality of work that they do. So this becomes a priority from the moment that we get started together, aligning their offers and rates to match the expertise and the results that they provide. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Jill Wise, a conversion copywriter, brand and marketing strategist, and business coach. And through both my Done For You studio and education platform, I've worked with, coached, and taught literally hundreds of entrepreneurs how to make good money online. So this video is going to be a chit chat about how to start charging premium rates as a freelancer, because it's not just a matter of charging what you're worth like so many coaches say that it is. There's a handful of factors to consider first, and your business needs to be set up in order to justify charging these premium rates. And I know that if my clients are experiencing these roadblocks, there's probably so many more of you out there that are seeing these challenges too. The structure that I see here is that I'm going to walk you through 5 steps to start charging premium rates. But first, I want to start by talking about why undercharging as a freelancer is bad for everyone. And by everyone, I don't just mean yourself, but the entire industry. So we definitely want to avoid this as freelancers so that we can start to build each other up. There are more than enough good clients to go around, especially people who are willing to pay good money for the results that they want. So if you are undercharging, then you personally probably aren't going to be hitting your sales goals. You're probably going to start feeling resentful. Maybe you're on the brink of burnout because you're just working too much for too little pay. And overall, you probably don't have the capacity to do good work long term because you have to pour so much into every single project, but you see such little return. So you have to spend less time per project in order to make all of this actually work, and that means often less results. And this isn't to say that the time spent on a project is always directly related to the results, but when you are frazzled just trying to keep up with all the things because you have a ton of tiny projects, then you're not going to be able to give the attention that your clients deserve. And when you are charging less than rates as a freelancer, you're going to undercut the entire industry because there will always be someone who can do it cheaper, and you don't want to be that someone who is perpetuating this cycle. So you're probably met with all of these challenges, and we don't want that cycle to repeat itself. Now let's get into how we fix these problems and start to charge premium rates as a freelancer. Step number 1 is to obviously do good work and choose numbers that make sense, because integrity is everything. This isn't about picking some arbitrary number that's just high enough because that's what you see others charging, but being really intentional about it. You need to be charging appropriately for things like your expertise, your results that you can provide, the track record that you have, the location that you're based in, your business overall. Like, there's so many factors to consider, and I'm going to get into these later in the video, so keep watching. Step number 2 to start charging premium rates as a freelancer is to gather results, get feedback, and get data. Basically, I want you to be able to prove that you know what you're doing. And you can prove that in the actual numbers, especially if you're a copywriter like me, then you can get those numbers from your clients based on the projects that you've worked with them. You can also collect social proof from your clients who've seen amazing results from working with you or just had an overall great client experience. And really just anything that showcases that you know what you are doing in a certain field. Step number 3 to charge premium rates as a freelancer is to elevate your messaging. So you know what you're doing, you have the results to back it up, you have the social proof to back it up, your prices are set fairly and appropriately. Now you need to make your messaging match all of that. The goal here is to present yourself as the expert, because clients pay experts premium rates. They don't pay freelancers that they need to handhold and manage premium rates. So if you can show that you know what you're doing, that you have processes in place, that you are the go-to expert for something, that's when all of these pieces will start to click into place. So elevating your messaging is to attract new clients, but what about your current clients? That leads us to step 4, which is that if you want to start charging premium rates, you need to also consider reminding your current clients of the value that you provide. Because if you start to have this discrepancy between new clients that are coming in and they're paying your higher, newer rates, and then you have old clients that are kind of dragging their feet and they maybe don't even know that you've raised your rates, it's going to cause some resentment. So we want to avoid that, and you're going to go back to your current clients, past clients, and remind them of the value that you provide and of any rate increases that are upcoming. Now, I know this conversation can be very scary, especially if you've been working with certain clients for a really long time at your lower rates, but it's up to you to, again, guide them and show that you are the expert and show them how much value you've been bringing to the table. So this is a really good time to refresh them on the numbers that they've been seeing, any increases in like their conversions. Again, if you're a conversion copywriter, if you're a content writer, maybe you can dig into their traffic numbers, just overall showing them all of the work that you've done and how great of a job that you've done. At the same time, being very transparent that your rates have increased and notifying them that your rates for working together are going to be increasing for them as well. When you have this conversation with your past and and current clients, you have to remember that not everybody is going to be able to afford your new rates, and that is totally okay. That doesn't mean that your new rates are wrong. It just means that it's not in alignment with their budget, and that's fine. You just have to be ready to move on to start to get bigger and better clients. Step number 5 to start charging premium rates as a freelancer is that you need to be okay with rejection. A very sure sign that you need to raise your rates as a freelancer is that you are getting yeses 100% of the time. If everyone says yes to your proposals, then your rates are too low. Charging premium rates as a freelancer needs to come with a comfort level of some people saying that they can't afford it. And that's okay, because again, that's just what their budget is, and other people's budget is not necessarily your business's problem. If you are respectful with sending your proposals and with their responses to this, even if it's a no, then maybe they will come back when they are ready for the level of work that you provide. Okay, so what factors do we need to consider when we are setting our rates as a freelancer? Let's get into that next. I'm just gonna rapid fire through these because I don't think all of them need a conversation right now, so get ready to take some notes. Number 1 is obviously the value that you provide. So your experience, specifically the results and the transformation that you have a track record of doing for other clients. So this isn't charging your worth and just deciding what your worth is, but actually knowing how much money you can bring in for clients who are willing to pay for your services. What is the value of the work that you're producing? You also need to consider your business's goals and the capacity that you have in order to achieve those while working with these clients, and making sure that all of those offers and the prices align. You also need to consider your expenses. And with this, I'm talking about your business expenses, but also your personal ones. Like, how much do you need to be able to pay yourself at the end of the day? What is your cost of living? Include that in your budgeting breakdown so that you can actually have a fair salary out of your business's revenue. If you have a team, if you have to save for taxes, all of that needs to be considered when setting your rates. Also remember the non-billable hours. So it's not just about the time that you're spending on your clients, but what about marketing and your admin work, all of that kind of thing. You also need to look at the industry average for the work that you're providing and what the market can handle. So if most freelancers are charging X amount or a range, where do you fit on that spectrum? You can't just decide some number out of left field because it's not going to work. But what legitimately makes sense? Like, where do you fit within the market? And you also need to think about the pricing model that you want. I prefer working with project flat rates as a freelance copywriter rather than some writers might charge per word. That just doesn't make any sense in the copy world, I don't think. I also don't like charging hourly because the time taken to write something doesn't always make sense. So I find that flat rates are just tidier for everyone. And then that way it's based on the value provided versus the hours clocked. And sometimes I'm going to be a little bit over or under the average amount that I would spend on a specific project, and that's okay. It all evens out in the end. Okay, so I know we just went through a lot here, so I'm going to wrap up here. I love talking about rates and offer optimization and aligning all of that with your business goals. I could honestly go on about it forever, and luckily I get to do that with my clients inside my mastermind. If you don't know about my mastermind, it is called The Inner Circle, and it is for other freelancers, marketers, and personal brands who want to design a business that fits around their life. Inside this container, we work both one-on-one and as a group through consulting and coaching and educational tools that I pull straight from my own business. The goal is for you to realign and reimagine your trajectory and build a business that actually works for you. Basically, dream up your next moves and then take action to make it happen. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I'm going to leave all the information for the Inner Circle Mastermind in the description box below. It is by application only, but that's how we start the conversation to make sure that it is a good fit for everybody inside, because it is quite a small, intimate community, and I like to keep it that way. And if you like this conversation and you want to learn more about how to get freelance clients and setting rates and all that kind of thing, I'm going to leave a bunch of other videos that are related linked for you here too. And as always, thank you so much for watching.